Have you ever found yourself wondering why so many good folks don't seem to make it much past 80? It's a quiet thought many of us have, especially when we dream of seeing our grandchildren grow up. The surprising truth, which I've discovered time and again in my medical practice, is that it's often less about bad luck or bad genes and more about a few simple daily habits. In fact, there are 5 common mistakes, so quiet and seemingly harmless, that millions of seniors are making right now, unknowingly shortening their precious time. As a doctor who has sat with hundreds of families, I can tell you, the biggest dangers to our health in later years aren't the dramatic ones on the news. No, they're the ones hiding in plain sight. We'll reveal these mistakes and show you simple, often free ways to fix them, just like my patient Dorothy did. Here it is, mistake number 1, the medication multiplication trap. I want you to picture Dorothy's bathroom cabinet. When I first spoke with her, she described it to me, and it's an image I've seen in countless homes across America. It didn't look like a neat little cabinet. It looked more like a small, crowded pharmacy. There was a bottle for her blood pressure, prescribed by her heart doctor. Another for her cholesterol, from her primary care physician. A pill to help her sleep, from a specialist she saw years ago. And of course, bottles for aches and pains, for indigestion, a pill for this, and a pill for that. She never questioned it, not once, because each one was prescribed by a doctor, a trusted professional. But this, my friends, is exactly where the danger begins. You see, a simple truth that isn't talked about enough, especially as we get older, is this. When you begin taking 5 or more medications at the same time, and let's be honest, many seniors easily reach that number, they can start a kind of chemical argument inside your body. Think of it like a chaotic meeting where everyone is talking over each other, and no one can hear what anyone else is saying. One drug can accidentally cancel out the benefits of another. Or, even worse, it can make another one dangerously strong. This isn't just a theory, a notion from some textbook. It's a well-documented phenomenon that dramatically increases the risk of serious complications. Now, why does this become especially treacherous as we age? Well, throughout our lives, we tend to collect specialists. We have a doctor for our heart, another for our bones, maybe one for our digestion. The problem is, these specialists rarely talk to each other. They each focus intently on their one area of expertise, and they prescribe accordingly, often without seeing the full picture of what's happening in your body as a whole. And to make matters more complicated, as we get older, our bodies, particularly our liver and kidneys, process medications much slower. A dose that was perfectly fine for you at 50 can become far too much for your system at 70 or 80. This is precisely why so many older adults walk around feeling constantly exhausted. They complain about dizziness, that frustrating brain fog, and even notice strange, unexplained bruises on their skin. So oft, and they chalk it up to just getting old. But I am telling you very often, it is not old age at all. It is a silent side effect war happening right there, inside their medicine cabinet. This was exactly the case with Dorothy. The turning point for her was when she started feeling a bone-deep fatigue she just couldn't shake, and those dark, mysterious bruises began appearing on her arms. It was her pharmacist, a sharp young woman, who finally connected the dots. Dorothy was unknowingly taking 2 different blood thinners prescribed by 2 different doctors who hadn't coordinated their care. On top of that, she was taking an over-the-counter painkiller for her arthritis, which also thins the blood. She was, in her pharmacist's alarming words, one bad bump away from a serious internal bleed. It was a vicious cycle, a cascade of treating side effects with more pills. A pill to help her sleep made her groggy, so another doctor gave her something for energy, which then upset her stomach, leading to antacids. It just kept building. The solution that saved her was something she called her medication audit. It was brilliantly simple but profoundly effective. She gathered every single bottle, prescriptions, vitamins, supplements, everything, and put them all in one bag. Then, She made an appointment with her primary doctor with the sole purpose of reviewing them all. It was a game changer. Together, they identified the overlaps, the unnecessary pills, and the potential dangers. So, here's my call to action for you this year. Please do the same. Schedule a medication review with your doctor or pharmacist. And from now on, whenever a new pill is suggested, I want you to ask one powerful question. Doctor, is this replacing something on my list or just adding to it? Within 6 months of her audit, Dorothy went from 12 daily medications down to just 5 essential ones. The change, she said, was like a fog lifting. Her energy came roaring back. The mysterious aches disappeared. She felt like herself again. It's a powerful reminder that more medicine is not always better medicine. Now, let's move on to the second mistake, which isn't hiding in the medicine cabinet, but in a place we think of as safe, our very own kitchen. This is mistake number 2. The invisible poison in your pantry. At first glance, Dorothy's pantry looked like a model of healthy living. She proudly told me about her choices. There were boxes of whole grain cereals, packages of low-fat cookies for her afternoon, tea, sugar-free sodas for a guilt-free treat, and rows of canned soups for a quick, easy lunch. She was doing everything she'd seen in the commercials. Everything the bright, cheerful labels told her was good for her. But behind those labels was a hidden danger. A danger that nutrition experts I work with call age accelerators. These are foods that, while seeming innocent, quietly fuel a process called inflammation inside your body. Now, inflammation isn't always bad. It's how your body heals. But chronic low-grade inflammation is the root cause of so many age-related ailments, from those aching joints and stiff muscles you might feel, to heart disease, and even memory decline. The biggest offenders are hidden sugars and chemicals. That wholesome-looking granola bar Dorothy loved? It had more sugar than a frosted donut. Her sugar-free drinks were loaded with artificial sweeteners like aspartame, which major studies, including those published in the Journal of the American Heart Association, have now linked to a higher risk of stroke and heart disease in older women. Even her healthy wheat bread was sweetened with high-fructose corn syrup, a major driver of inflammation. And it's not just sugar. To make low-fat products taste good, manufacturers often pump them full of extra sodium and chemical additives. A single serving of Dorothy's favorite canned soup had more than half of her recommended daily sodium intake, putting a tremendous strain on her blood pressure. But here's a crucial point that is especially important for seniors. It's not just about what we eat, but also what we don't drink. As we get older, our natural thirst mechanism begins to fade. We simply don't feel thirsty as often. Dorothy was a perfect example. She'd have a cup of coffee in the morning and maybe a glass of iced tea in the afternoon, assuming she was fine. In reality, she was in a constant state of mild dehydration. This is incredibly common, and it's truly dangerous. It strains your kidneys, drains your energy, and is a leading cause of dizziness and confusion, which often leads to falls. So, that mid-afternoon slump you feel, that stiffness in your knees when you wake up, it might not be your age at all. It might just be your lunch from the day before, or simply not enough water. Dorothy's wake-up call came when her daughter, who had studied nutrition in college, came to visit. They went through the pantry together, reading labels line by line. Dorothy was shocked, and frankly, a little angry. She felt she had been misled for years. The solution she created was brilliantly simple, something she called the 5x5 rule. First, she committed to only buying packaged foods with 5 ingredients or fewer. This simple filter automatically eliminates most highly processed junk. Second, she made it a mission to drink 5 full glasses of water by 5 p.m. each day. Setting that time deadline prevented her from staying up all night chugging water. And third, she aimed to eat 5 different colors of fruits and vegetables daily. A simple way to ensure she was getting a wide range of anti-inflammatory nutrients. This week, I challenge you to do just one thing. Pick up your favorite healthy packaged snack and read the ingredient label. Don't look at the front. Look at the tiny print on the back. You might be shocked by what you find. Within 4 months of changing her pantry, Dorothy's doctor told her she was no longer pre-diabetic. Her skin looked brighter, her chronic joint pain eased up, and she had more energy than she'd had in a decade. She learned that the most effective pharmacy is often your own kitchen. If this insight about our food has been valuable to you, please let me know by commenting the word healthy below. It truly encourages us to keep making this content. Alright, now for our third mistake. This one doesn't start in the body. It starts in the mind. And it is perhaps the most tragic of them all. This is mistake number 3, the mobility mindset death spiral. It all started with a small, seemingly insignificant slip. As I mentioned, Dorothy fell in her kitchen. She didn't break anything, thankfully, just a bruised elbow and a badly shaken confidence. She did what any of us would think is sensible. She told herself, "I just need to be more careful." And so, quietly, her world began to shrink. She started avoiding the stairs in her own home, taking the long way around. She stopped walking on the uneven sidewalk in her neighborhood, sticking only to the smoothest paths. She even turned down invitations from friends if they involved walking on grass. On the surface, this looked like a smart, protective strategy. But in reality, she had just taken the first step into a dangerous trap. Here is the painful irony that I have seen play out over and over again in my practice. The fear of falling makes you move less. But moving less is the very thing that makes your muscles weaker. As your leg and core muscles weaken, your balance begins to decline. As your balance declines, your bones lose density from the lack of impact. And with weaker muscles, poorer balance, and more fragile bones, you become far, far more likely to fall again. It is a tragic self-fulfilling prophecy, a death spiral of declining mobility born from a simple, understandable desire to stay safe. Now, why is this especially critical after 60? It's because of a natural process called sarcopenia, which is just a medical term for age-related muscle loss. After age 50, we can lose up to 1% of our muscle mass every single year if we are not actively working to maintain it. So when you combine that natural decline with a conscious decision to move less out of fear, the process accelerates dramatically. That feeling of struggling to get up from a low chair without pushing off with your arms, or feeling winded after a single flight of stairs, that isn't just aging. That is a clear signal from your body that your muscles are being neglected and your independence is at risk. For Dorothy, this spiral happened fast. Within about 18 months of her initial fall, lifting her 6-year-old grandson became an impossible task. She told me the moment she had to say, "No, honey, Grandma can't pick you up," was one of the most heartbreaking of her life. The blunt truth came from her physical therapist, who looked at her chart and said, "Dorothy, your test results show you have the muscle mass and balance of someone who is 85. You're only 72. Your instinct to protect yourself is quietly stealing your future." That was the wake-up call. She had to unlearn her fear and replace it with strength. Her solution was a program she called The Power of 3. It was designed to be so simple that she couldn't make excuses. First, 3 simple balance exercises while she brushed her teeth in the morning, like standing on one foot. Second, 3 simple strength moves during TV commercials, like standing up and sitting down from her chair 10 times without using her hands. And third, 3 gentle stretches before bed to maintain flexibility. Your muscles do not know how old you are. They only know one of 2 things: use or disuse. It is a choice we make every single day. Choose use. At first, Dorothy could barely balance for 5 seconds, but she was consistent. Within a few months, she was holding for 30 seconds with ease. She even joined a senior Tai Chi class in her community where the laughter and support made it feel less like a chore and more like a social hour. 6 months after starting her simple program, she was on a hiking trail with her grandchildren, fearless and strong. Medical tests confirmed it. Her bone density had actually improved. She reversed the spiral. It proves that it is never too late to get stronger. The question is never if you can. It's only if you are willing to start. Now for our fourth mistake. This one strikes silently, and it doesn't attack your body first. It begins by draining your spirit. This is mistake number 4, the social isolation time bomb. When Dorothy first retired from her long career as a school principal, she told me she looked forward to the peace and quiet. No more ringing phones, no more staff meetings, no more deadlines. For the first few months, it was a blessing. But then, something began to shift. The silence in her home started to feel less peaceful and more heavy. Days would drift by with the only real conversation being a few words with the cashier at the grocery store. Her weekly bridge club had slowly dissolved as friends moved away or fell ill. Her children, busy with their own careers and families, called less frequently. One morning she had a startling realization. She was talking more to her little dog than she was to other human beings. I need you to hear this loud and clear because it is one of the most important public health findings of our time. Chronic loneliness and social isolation are not just sad feelings. They are lethal. Major research, including a landmark study published in the journal Perspectives on Psychological Science, has shown that social isolation increases the risk of premature death by nearly 50%. Let me put that in perspective for you. The health consequences are as damaging as smoking 15 cigarettes every single day. It is a silent killer. Now, why does this happen, especially as we age? For one, our social structures often fall away. We leave the daily interaction of a workplace. Our children become independent. Our physical mobility might decrease, making it harder to get out. If we are not incredibly intentional about it, isolation can creep in and take hold before we even realize what's happening. And the biological impact is devastating. Loneliness weakens our immune system, making us more susceptible to illness. It increases inflammation, and most terrifyingly, it dramatically accelerates memory loss and doubles the risk of developing dementia. The warning signs for Dorothy were subtle at first. She started forgetting if she had taken her morning medication. She would lose a word mid-sentence. Her blood pressure, once well controlled, began to creep up. But the most troubling sign was something she confessed to her daughter one morning over the phone. She said, "Honey, I feel like I'm disappearing." Disappearing. Those words hit harder than any lab result could. It was the feeling of becoming invisible, irrelevant. That is the true pain of isolation. It's a feeling that your brain, starved of meaningful human connection, is beginning to shut down. But here is what saved her. She discovered that connection is one of the most powerful medicines on the planet. Her revival started small. So small, it's almost beautiful. She made a point to not just wave to her neighbors, but to walk over and ask them how their day was going. Those waves turned into porch conversations. She started volunteering for just 2 hours a week at the local hospital gift shop, not for the work, but for the casual chatter, the connection. The real breakthrough was her Tuesday Club. It started with her inviting just 2 other widows from her apartment building over for cards. Soon, word got around. Within a few months, 20 neighbors were gathering weekly for potlucks, games, and genuine support. Here is your simple, powerful action step for this week. Pick up the phone and call one person you haven't spoken to in a while. Not a text, a call, just to say hello and see how they are. That's it. That's the first step to rebuilding a connection. Dorothy learned that the cure for loneliness isn't about having 100 friends. It's about having just a few quality, regular interactions. By age 75, her calendar was full again, but in a healthy way. Her daughter said it best, "Mom didn't just get her health back, she got her sparkle back." If you believe in the healing power of connection, please let us know by commenting the number 4 below. It means so much to us to see that. Thank you. And now we come to the final and perhaps most insidious mistake of all. This is mistake number 5, the memory myth massacre. For years, Dorothy believed what so many of us have been told our entire lives. That serious memory decline is just a normal, unavoidable part of getting older. Misplacing your car keys. Forgetting the name of that actor from the movie last night. Walking into a room and completely forgetting why you went in there. We've all been there. We laugh it off and call it a senior moment. But this belief, this acceptance that our minds are doomed to fail, almost destroyed Dorothy's. It started with small things, but then it grew more serious. One day, she was talking to her daughter and blanked on her own granddaughter's name just for a second, but it terrified her. Another time, she got lost while driving to her daughter's house, a route she had driven thousands of times for more than a decade. She pulled into a parking lot, utterly confused and in tears, realizing something was terribly, terribly wrong. She thought, "This is it. It's starting." Here is the shocking truth that I wish I could share with every single person over 60. The act of accepting memory loss as normal is the very thing that accelerates it. When you believe your brain is destined to decline, you stop challenging it. You stop learning new things. You make excuses for your memory lapses instead of working to strengthen your mind. And just like an unused muscle, your brain's abilities begin to atrophy. Groundbreaking research on cognitive aging has shown that seniors who hold negative beliefs about memory loss experience cognitive decline at nearly double the rate of those who believe they can maintain and even improve their mental sharpness. As we wrap up, we've explored 5 critical areas that can truly transform our golden years. But knowledge, my friends, is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It doesn't have to be monumental. It could be as simple as, "I will drink a glass of water before my coffee tomorrow," or "I will call that friend I've been thinking about this week," or "I will read the ingredients on my favorite snack box." Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. Writing it down is the first step to making it real, and it lets us all inspire each other to take that first step. And if you found real value and encouragement in our time together today, show your support by giving this video a like. It is so appreciated. To ensure you continue on this journey with us and never miss another video full of life-changing wisdom, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community of people dedicated to living our best lives together. Finally, think of one person, just one person who needs to hear this message today, and please share it with them. You might just change their life. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, stay wise, and I'll see you in the next video.